I was supposed to get back to you, but since I come back to Vietnam, I thought better to meet face to face. Yeah. So the last time we were talking about your
direct billing.
Indirect billing.
Yeah.
Indirect. Direct we done already. Only
indirect sales. Yes, indirect sales.
Indirect sales. So what happened is that in the sales order entry, we actually have a way of choosing whether it's direct sales or indirect sales. So in here, let me just show you one. You see here in one of the, it's actually a standard field. So you see there's this field called distribution channel.
Okay.
What happened is that you can choose whether it's direct sales or indirect sales. So it's something like what you're doing now. You put a tag, right? To say that this is indirect sales, then this you can group them together. Yes. So instead of document type, we call it a distribution channel. Okay. So once this is done, what will happen is that at the point that you want to check who is owing the supplier money or whether the supplier no contra, how much they have to pay you, that's where I created a report to join the two together. When I say create a report to join the two, means create a report to join the sales and the purchase. Okay, so they will do a link to say that, okay, for this sales invoice, how much is the purchase? Is it correct so far? Purchase, yes. Sales, contra, balance.
In one account.
Correct.
Yeah.
So what happened is that in the report, this is what I've done. So I've created a simple report. I mean, we can beautify this later on, but the report is something like, So in detail, this is what I've taken out. That means every transaction that is related, either purchase or sales, we link it together. So in order to make this easier report to look at, of course, you can beautify it in the sense as I do not want certain things, right? I do not need to see the sales order example. So you can easily just say delete it off, remove the field. And here it also depends on, in the end, do you want to see the supplier as the header or the customer as the header? So usually you should be looking at the supplier because you want to know this supplier owe you money or not. Correct?
Actually, I believe we look at both sides. Depends on the situation. Like if we want to look at the customer, how much they still own LD and our partner. So we have to look at from the AR, right? And then we can look at back the supplier side to see that the balance we have to collect the differences.
Correct. So this is the second report. I mean, the first report is still your aging report, your normal aging report. Okay, but this report is where you are seeing that the supplier, whether they owe you or don't.
Okay.
This is the one that is more important to you because the other one is a standard AR report. Okay.
No, we will reconcile and we will book the commission, the receivable from our supplier later. We don't cash directly immediately to the supplier in the indirect sales.
Here there's no charging to the supplier. Here we are just pulling out sales, supplier.
Sales by customer and purchase by supplier.
Correct.
Yes.
Then, so you have the sales supplier is here, correct? But if you move further down, you will see that it's also linked to the customer. This is the customer. So I'm putting the two together. I'm not actually putting into one account. It's two separate accounts.
Oh.
But in one report, so that in the end of it all, you can see in the report how much you are supposed to collect as a commission. So example, the gross amount is the purchase amount. The transaction amount is your sales amount. So I need to just create one more column. You say the total minus the gross equals to your commission. That's it. Correct?
In different accounts.
For what? Different supplier or different customer?
No, this one, the supplier in one account.
There,
and
you see?
In
one supplier technical, but different sales account. It can be different sales account. You see column account, right? So example, this supplier, these are the sales invoice.
Sales supplier. Wait. Like this is supplier. The column supplier is the
Technical components is the supplier. Silver Star is the customer. So for this supplier, I have sales, indirect sales from Silver Star for Silver Star. And these are actually the invoice that is outstanding. So I'm actually just comparing whatever sales amount against whatever purchase amount. And that's your commission.
So what difference between the account and the supplier?
Account is the sales because they want to compare.
Account is the sale, just the name only.
Yeah. We can change the name
But I
to
think
Michelle.
Mission want to know at the accounting side, so supplier and the customer hit which account?
The sales and the cost is still the same.
Okay.
You are still doing as the same normal transaction, debit debit debtor, credit sales, and then debit expenses or cost of sales to credit supplier. That one is still the same.
Is this answer your questions?
Excuse me, I'm not clear with the format of the.
Sure, which one?
Here, the first column is supplier. You filter supplier by like supplier 401, 402. Technical components.
That is
Yeah.
the name.
The name of the supplier.
Correct.
Yes.
And sales order. This is sales order.
This is
purchase
your
order.
sales. No. Okay, to make you not confused, let me take it out. So what happens is that you have a supplier, and then you have a supplier invoice. Let me check where's the supplier invoice. Okay. Here. Supplier invoice is here. Okay, so what is happening here is that invoice account, let me take out the description. Display only the description. So if you look here, you will see that this is a supplier code, correct? S100401 is the supplier code, creditor code. This is the supplier name.
Yes.
Then this supplier, there is an indirect sales to this customer Silver Star.
Right.
So this is your purchase invoice number. This is your own sales invoice number.
Invoice number here.
This invoice is your sales. This invoice is your purchase.
Okay.
Invoice ID is invoice.
Purchase invoice.
Purchase invoice.
Account. What is the account?
Account is your sales, the customer.
Account is the name.
The
name
customer.
of customer.
Yes.
Okay. And invoice number to the
This is your
customer.
sales. Yes, correct. The invoice to customer.
Product number.
That one we can ignore if you don't need to go in detail, right? You only need to know the amount.
Understand.
Yeah, but what I do is I just put all in to show you first. Yeah. But in actual fact, all this can be taken out. You just need to know supplier invoice, customer invoice, what is the value, good enough. You don't even need to know the quantity so that you don't get confused.
And at the back is quantity, gross amount sales, gross amount purchase.
Gross amount is your purchase.
Yes.
Gross amount is a purchase.
Total here is the sales.
Total transaction is sales.
Yes.
So in this table, we can see supplier, customer, quantity.
If you want to see quantity, yeah. If you don't want, we can also take it.
We need it.
Yeah.
Quantity, gross amount is purchase amount, and total transaction is sale amount.
Yes.
So the
So
balance,
the total minus gross equals to your commission.
yes.
It means we can add another column
Correct.
with the formula we
Correct.
sales,
Exactly.
subtract the purchase, so we have to, that is our commission, we have to follow.
Correct.
So it means from this screen, we can see from the customer side as well from the supplier
Supplier
side.
side, yeah. So we can add one more column for customer code.
The customer code already there.
I see the name.
Account column.
That is the name? Because we have.
No, I hide it just now because too many things. Let me show you. So under the account, I can just say, show me the account and ID. There, here. Then you see the account ID here already.
Because so many columns.
I understand that. Actually, I'm not too sure this one is clear for you from the finance side, from the back end, because I'm worried from the back end. One is we have to make sure direct sales, it is our APGL, is our accounting system. And indirect sales, we just look at the GL to get commission and transfer to our zero only, right, for that one. So basically we have to make sure that, and everyone to make sure it hit correctly.
Yes.
Okay, so from our supply chain management side, front end, I want to make sure, because right now you have one field, put indirect sales or direct sales. But in case that is manual enter the orders, how about if we have like allow our end user to import the data into SAP?
Import as a sales entry.
Right.
Yeah. We can do a sales import from Excel.
So how to differentiate?
That's why we need to give you a table. You need to map to the table.
Can you show that?
Let me see if I have a format.
Just stay in that table a little bit.
Sorry, okay.
The text, withholding tax.
You have to tell me which column. Yeah, it's just a question of what field you want to
Now
see.
we just want to create the one account for this indirect sales. So when we, at the time that the purchase, the order should confirm, this account is not balanced yet. We have to calculate and enter manual entries to balance this account.
Why do you need to do a manual entry?
For example, this account is indirect sales.
Yes.
So the sales hit, the sales amount hit one side and the purchase hit one side. So this account is not balanced to zero.
She mean the ZL account.
I think in order to clarify a little bit for Ms. Sun's question, she want to, like if the supply owe us and supply pay to us, so we want to clear that in order to balance. Like for example, this is, we have another column, our commission, and this is pending because the supplier has not paid us.
Yep.
And if we already receive the money from our supplier, we want to balance this. Right? It's the same meaning. So how to do that and which account or what to do it?
No, first of all, here what I'm doing is that it will still be, even if it's indirect sales, okay, if it's indirect sales, the transaction will still be debit, debtor, credit sales. Okay, so this is this will be your sales. And in terms of your purchase, this will be the cost of sales or expenses or whichever, credit supplier. This is still there. So definitely there will be a difference, because here you may be actually saying that this is $100, right? Your sales is 100. Here your cost may be $80.
Yes.
Can you remember my
So
accounting?
a bit different from our existing.
No, let me just explain how this is done from what I have configured.
Okay.
So what I've done is that report will show you the 100 and the 80
Right.
when you receive under the supplier. So the supplier would, it depends on what they want to do with the commission. How do they do it now? Do they actually send to you a check, cash? Or do they send you a debit note or what? How do they do it?
No,
How?
at this stage, we will reconcile.
No. What I'm saying is when they
After reconciliation,
when they pay you, how do they pay?
they make a TT.
Net off with our.
Correct. So that's why I said when they net off, you still need to be notified, right? How do they notify you?
Like they say TT, right?
we have to notify to supplier, our supplier,
Yep.
and we have reconciliation with our supplier, and our supplier net off.
So basically, suppliers send us an invoice for the tax cost, and then we send them an invoice for our commission. Used as a supporting document.
Yep.
Because we need posting commission entry in the finance.
The document is normal.
And we are
When they
supposed to,
sell, they issue invoice. When we charge commission, we issue invoice.
That
But
means
the payment is different. The payment is depends. To settle the payment is depends.
so it means we have two ways of settlement, right? One is net off. One is they just send our
We pay or they pay. It
Yes.
depends.
like make a TT
Yes.
notification.
totally we should have five steps for this process. Sell and we receive the money from the invoice and commission and the make payment for supplier.
Now, customer pay directly.
Pay direct to
our
supplier.
Okay.
Because this is indirect sale, pay direct to supplier. We just monitor that, make sure our customer will pay to supply on time. That's it. That's what we want to look at. And the supply after reconciliation, so we have the commission. We make sure the supply pay us or net off with what is pending.
So this is lack of one transaction. We
Wait,
have to
wait,
create
wait,
a
wait.
commission. We it's not our real.
I'm trying to see how we reconcile the 100 to the 80. When you calculate the commission payable to you, what is the double entry?
This is not our actual situation. Our situation is only one account. Sale hit with direct sales account and cost hit with indirect sales account. Only one account is debit and credit.
Correct. I mean, we can do that, but the thing is that if you do that in our sales, you wouldn't know which actual supplier. That means we have to create another key field for you to key in the supplier code. Because if everyone go to an indirect sales account, it's one common dummy account. Correct? So I wouldn't know which is the actual customer.
So right now, instead of doing that, you have two accounts. One also customer, the sales, and
the
one
actual
purchase.
customer and the actual purchase.
Okay.
If not, here when you enter, this will be a dummy account. That means everything hit this. Whether I buy or sell, go to this account. Then you just contract.
Actually, we have to enter the code for the supplier as well.
Correct.
In the account also, we also
Exactly.
put-
So that's why I'm saying if you enter the supplier account,
Yes.
how then to tell them that this transaction go to this same account? Because you are saying that your sales go to account 100, example. Your purchase also go to account 100. So which is your supplier, which is your customer? You can't tell.
We have to pull different table.
Correct. So it's
to
basically
Yes.
it's the same concept. Yeah.
So that is why our existing system have two different table. So what is the solution that Alex suggests in SAP? It makes it easy that we have two account ready. Now we just combine into one report to show the commission and clear customer and supplier side detail.
But the issue is here is we don't create a commission in a commission account. If we create two accounts, two different accounts, we don't receive in the commission account. In our existing we call commission, but we enter it into other receivable accounts.
So it means like
Debit.
GL,
Yes,
like just put cost on the voucher on
yes,
GL,
not
right?
hit to commission account,
So if so,
not hit to income.
AR, let's say AR,
like a receivable.
Yes,
account receivable.
So it means, can we do that like for this one with the commission column or account something, and we just cost that transfer to our normal AR receivable?
yeah.
That's what we
Not hit to
want.
commission account anymore, because if commission, we have to calculate income again.
We hit AR and AB, when we matching, we get commission. We don't need.
Commission, we call commission,
We
but
call commission.
in our system is receivable.
But we matching AR and AB, right, we get the
Yeah.
balance.
We
That's the
we
commission.
get the receivable,
Mm.
not commission.
And how AB, how for account
When we match sales
and purchase.
and purchase, we have difference.
Okay.
And difference we charge to other receivable. Not charge to,
It's fast step.
not charge to income, not charge to commission income no more. Because that is another income, double income.
Correct. So in this case, the $20, where do you want it to go? If it's not commission.
AR,
Correct. What AR?
yeah,
Other
other receivable.
But it's not other receivable when you receive the money already.
No, we have not.
No, what I'm saying is when you receive.
When
What
we
is it?
receive,
What is
we
it?
will credit our other receivable, debit our bank account. So in this case, we can create another account to transfer from the supplier 80 and customer debtor 100 and the difference 20.
Okay,
Then
wait,
we have
wait,
to
sorry,
create a manual entry.
So
No, no.
your AR others, right? You got the AR others here. So you debit AR others, credit what?
Manual.
Other 20, yes.
Correct. Then credit,
Yeah.
credit to
Cho nó
what?
đơn giản.
We have only one now.
Bởi vậy nó
We
nói
are
là
running
cái
one
là
account.
cái virtual
Sales
housing thôi.
to
Thì mình
one.
lấy được cái balance, cái difference.
Sales
Thì dùng
to
thêm một cái
debit
giảm lại nó sẽ transfer
in
cái đó từ cái
and
nhảy
cost,
account
right?
ra.
and we have only one account.
Nếu không chỉ còn
100 in
tiếp
debit
tục trên mà
and
xem.
100 in credit in one account.
Okay.
Can I
No, we-
can I type it? Can I type it?
No, no.
Có ảnh ra làm sao vậy rồi.
No, the thing is here.
Thì ảnh đã làm.
You want all to go to one account. AR others,
Chỉ đang là
right?
confuse mình.
Other AR, correct? It's indirect AR. So what happens is when I do the sales, it will go to AR others.
Ví dụ khách hàng trả cho
Where's my mouse?
một cái supply nhận rồi đúng không? Bây giờ
Yeah.
bạn account
So this one, debit AR others 100.
Now we will go from the beginning. Like your concept is correct,
Mm.
but our reality is different. Our sales will credit sales account
Correct.
and debit indirect sales account.
Correct. So AR others is indirect sales. Okay, let me change this.
And about the cost,
Yep.
debit cost
Yep.
and credit indirect sales.
Okay. So yeah, this is the part I'm saying. So in this case, if this is what you are doing, then how do you see which supplier you are doing?
That's the reason why I say our existing system doesn't show the supplier.
Correct. This is,
And even with the customer orders. So her staff have to pull different table data to match it. So that's why I'm trying to tell her we don't do that way. I try to new solution to make it easy. So what Erin asked me to do to make sure it work and hit correctly. Okay. Second, if existing solution put a lot of table it doesn't work and we want to reduce the workload. So this is what you have shown me. I believe it's already correct. Okay, so one report, the commission, the sale and the purchase, from which supplier or which customer
Correct.
PO, that's okay.
Yes.
So we need another like a column to show commission.
Correct.
Then another column like if the customer pay to our supplier and supplier confirm and send the commission to us, we just post balance, okay, done. And that amount will have another posting, one more step to transfer that amount into our GL or AR
Correct.
receivable from our real accounting system.
That's my suggestion.
Right.
Yeah, that's
So I want that solution and very clear that I report to our finance controller in New York.
Whether
And
it's
if she
acceptable.
okay or not.
Yeah.
And if she say she doesn't want that and come back to this way,
Mm.
and that's what Miss Sun already tried to clarify with you.
Understand.
So
Because
So if this is our way now,
yep.
and when we reconcile with the supplier, we will enter a journal entry.
Understood. It's the same
Yeah.
concept. It's the same concept here. So when I show you the report just now, from this report, you will still need to do a journal entry because in the end, you still have differences, right?
right.
From the transaction total against the gross, that is your journal entry.
Yes.
So what I'm doing is just to tell you that there is these differences, this outstanding that you need to be aware of.
Mm.
Yes.
But your original entry to SAP side, we don't do it this way. Because over here, we go directly to the customer, we go directly to the supplier.
Okay. Okay. So in your way, we will net off from the debtor, the original, your way, you can like.
It will be just, it's not so much a net off, it will be just a journal entry to go to both supplier and customer and your bank.
Yes,
That's all.
yes.
So your entry is 3 lines.
No, not our bank. We have to create both to our customer, supplier, and the receivable. At that time, we have not yet received yet. We have not received money yet.
No, I'm talking when you receive money.
Yeah, if we receive money
Yes.
immediately.
No, I'm just saying, even if it's later, when you receive money, your transaction should be hitting the supplier, your customer,
Yeah,
to offset. That's it.
yeah. And excuse me, the debtor here is different from the sales AR here in direct sales.
It depends on what you want to do. Because your same customer can sometimes be direct, can sometimes be indirect.
I want to mix indirect and then direct.
I know. So what I'm trying to say is that just now at the sales order entry screen, we have another field for you to choose whether this is indirect or direct. So in your report, we will filter this field.
Just
So,
the-
In the report, if you want to see only direct sales, I will filter that, show me only direct sales outstanding. Another report, show me only indirect sales outstanding. It's a filter only, but it's still going to the same customer.
same customer.
So when we do the report for the direct sales, we
I will just pull a direct sales
just
only.
pull direct sales,
Correct.
or every customer can be,
Correct.
and
Whether it's direct sales or indirect sales, but at the point of transaction, you choose, right? Yeah.
when we go, when we run the AR,
Same thing. We will filter by direct sales or indirect sales, or you want to see total customer. Up to you.
so a bit different now, a bit different.
It will be a
but
bit
I-
different from what you're doing now. Yes, correct.
Yes, but I think it's reasonable.
Yeah.
It's okay.
To me, it's very clear.
Yeah.
So you have any questions about that?
But we have to confirm with our.
Yeah.
Yes. That's my duty. I have to get this all information passed to Eric. And I want to make sure Eric also understand what is the benefits if we change to SAP.
Correct.
Reduce the workload for the staff and also finance staff. Make efficiency. That's what my purpose. Otherwise, this project won't work. Trust me, I know that we building. So I need to make sure this works. So that reason why. So can you do one more time to show what we confirm for SAP solution so that we can focus on that
When you say one more time, from where?
from the beginning.
Which one?
For this one,
Okay.
for indirect, because when we discuss about it, I believe that we from New York very get confused a lot when we discuss about
And
it.
still, my question about the tax, the withholding tax,
We,
where will you enter?
we will enter to the account when we net off the sales, the debtor receivable from our customer in the indirect sales case. From our customer and our supplier. Our customer recently he showed 100 and supplier 80. So the difference 20. So we have to manual enter.
Why do we do manual? Why do we do?
Now we have
tax
to,
field?
we are doing manual now.
But we don't want to do the same as current.
Now we have, because that is cannot generate. That is.
I understand because
Cannot
an
generate.
existing system cannot generate the tax, holding tax, right?
Now each country are, for example now, outside of OG tax, we deduct 7 point something.
Okay, the percentage different,
Different.
vary from, okay,
And
my question is, my
Even,
question is,
even the GL is not the same GL debt. So if we create the tax like that, it's not 100% correct.
understand, okay, my question to SAP, do we have a solution like another column, create a tax holding, but the percentage, the factor for multiple depends on the supplier and the country.
This would be something like VAT,
Uh,
value added tax.
Similar.
Very
Yeah,
similar.
Yeah, correct. So,
Similar.
correct. It's in a way, it's the same concept because
Right,
for this transaction, maybe 7%, for this transaction, 9%.
right.
Yes.
You just have to choose an indicator. This is how many tax percent.
Can we do that?
So in the end, it's just basically a tax
You pay
field.
the supplier, that's the difference, yeah? You pay the tax to supplier.
So it means we have another
Different.
So
column.
at the point of
And even
purchase,
the
yeah, you have to tell them
export-
what tax is this.
Direct export or local sales are different. Direct export is no tax.
No, this is, we're talking about the indirect billing.
We just talk about indirect billing.
Yeah.
Indirect billing, but when they direct export to our customer, they don't charge withholding tax. It's not flat.
But still, we should have a tax field where actually, because it's going to be paid to the customer, it should be paid to the supplier, right? And you can just choose a different rate, 0% or 7.25% or 10%.
This kind of tax is sale deduct by sale price deduct by price multiplied by 7 point something.
So that 7 point something actually
So that
we
one-
pay back to the supplier, right?
Yes,
When we
yeah, we own it.
Right. So
when we receive the
I
commission,
understand. So my question is, do we need to book an entry for 7.5%, for example, in our accounting system? Do we need to?
No, we
We do,
don't.
right? So it
Right.
means 2 transactions. One is withholding tax entry. Second is our real commission, the money,
Yes.
right? So the question to Albert, sorry, Alex. Can we do that?
Which competitor, Albert?
Sorry.
Oracle.
Can we do that?
No. I think what she's trying to say is that the withholding tax is not on the full amount of the purchase. It's only on the commission.
On the
Yes,
commission,
on-
But
right?
that commission is not a transaction by itself.
No.
That's why there's no withholding tax calculation. That's what she's trying to say. Unless we create another entry, like a purchase debit note or something like that, then only we can calculate the withholding tax. If not, it's
But
just a
the
general.
correct one, you already have.
You
When
already
you
have
have
that
the difference
commission.
between sale and
That
buy.
one.
I know,
Yes, on that.
correct, but that $20 is for you to do as a manual entry. It's not a actual calculation for document. Because if you want the system to calculate, it needs to be a document to say that this purchase, $100, withholding tax 7%. Right? But your original purchase invoice is $80, no withholding tax. Alright, your sales $100, no withholding tax. Contra $20 got withholding tax.
Right.
But that $20 is not an actual transaction, no document. Right? Because it's waiting for you to receive the money and do an entry only. That's what I'm trying to say. So unless you're saying that we create another debit note for that $20.
But actually, we also issue a debit note, that debit note, right? Or supply issue a debit note for us.
We issue the commission invoice.
Yeah, if you do that, then we can calculate.
Just debit note.
You need to
Debit
have a
note,
document.
exactly.
Yeah, you need to have a document.
You need to more step like commission debit note.
I think it's really, because we create this in new system from the beginning, right? We should account for all the transaction occur, so that we can pull out from the system itself, don't have to do manual.
Right. So that's my intention, that in your report it's very clear. We just need to create another column with calculation for tax holding tax. And that calculation based on the supplier and location transaction.
No, but that one is basically a calculation field. But what I'm trying to say is that if you can, at the point of entry, whether it's a sales or whether it's a purchase, you already can tell them this customer or this supplier, this is the percentage, or this transaction, this is the percentage. It will auto calculate for you.
At the buy stage.
Yeah, it will auto calculate for you.
Can we grant?
But entry once. Now we are doing manual entries.
Right.
But I understand when we want the
System to calculate, correct.
generate
Right.
automatically.
Correct.
Right after we have commission about 20,
Right.
and the system will post from this account 20 to commission or to other receivable accounts
Right.
and a tax account generated from the system.
Right. It means you just one click. Okay. So I agree. This is already balanced. The supplier pay us, and we will pay back to supplier with holding tax. That done. Click, click, click.
It's a custom solution. We need to custom.
Yes, that's why I'm saying Oracle System JDE, we already customize that. But it create a lot of manual steps, and we try to reduce it. And if we already customize it, one more step to reduce the workload, why not?
So if the $20, how do you know how much is the withholding tax?
There's a percentage.
I know. Based
Based
on what
on
rule?
the supplier, right? So based on the supplier.
Always the same?
No,
Yeah.
each supplier
each
has
supplier
different.
I know. Each supplier always the same. 7% this supplier is,
Yes.
7% is
Yes.
always 7%.
We agree with all.
Okay.
Yeah. It can be done.
Yeah, I mean, if you can tell us the calculation, because the tax sheet is already there. We just want to know how you want to enter the transaction and what's the percentage. Because like I said, it's just like VAT. Different country that you have VAT also different percentage.
Right.
Yeah.
The VAT based on the item, not based on.
We can actually log into the supplier,
So it means they have another field.
default to supplier.
So it's much better or.
So the system will charge back from the debtor and the.
No, that means what we are trying to do later on is that you just key in the $20 example. You will know how much of the $20 go to tax and how much balance go to your AR or your commission.
This is also manual entry. not
What do you mean by
generated.
manual entry? You have to key in the $20. So it's a manual entry, yes.
So this is manual.
That's just one step for the.
Somebody has to key in the $20.
Yeah. This is right now.
Before you have to report about the commission.
Yeah.
Do you have any extra step for matching between the sale invoice and the change invoice?
This is the matching.
And yeah.
That's a report you matching from by reporting like design correct design. But do you have any step like matching the sale invoice to change invoice for you get the commission?
This is
Yeah,
the.
this-
No, this is just a report only.
Yeah.
You should have the step for
Do we need like clear out, right?
lay out like
Or allocation.
location.
I mean,
Allocation, yeah.
That one we can try to see if we can do it, but for now we have only prepared this one for the demo. Yeah.
When you have this step, right, when you link allocation, right, we auto-grade the commission entry, don't need to manage.
No, it doesn't work that way because now we are going to individual customer, individual suppliers, two different accounts.
Yeah, that's why we need to do the allocation matching.
Correct. When you allocate, it's actually allocate customer, allocate supplier. There's still a $20 somewhere.
And because some system, right, they have the matching, they get the balance.
Understand, the matching will work if it's her way. That means all post to one account. Then I can do the allocation for you, no problem. But you will all go to one account, which is what you're doing now. All going to a dummy account, AR, others, or indirect sales. If you want to do that, then we will have to configure further because you are still going to the same Silver Star to sell, same customer to sell, but you want to tell them for this one, it goes to a dummy AR account, not to Silver Star. You get what I'm saying? So yours can do the allocation, no problem, but it will all go to a dummy account, which will have a lot of transactions inside.
So in case if the supplier pay the commission, how we know that on purchase order and a customer order already clear off for this one?
No, this is the part when you actually see that in the end. Where's my mouse? You see here, I have a gross amount, 87, and then a total, right? There will be another line for this invoice that will show you the difference. That means there will be another amount coming in here in the report. Then you will see that this is already match.
Oh, so if in one column, if we say the supplier paid us and that transaction is clear off, so we just click match.
Yeah, I mean, it's not from here match, but it's from the supplier account that you do the allocation. So once that is allocated, it won't show in this report anymore.
Okay.
Allocation is not from the report. Allocation, there's another step.
So this one, how about your idea?
This is good.
But at least it-
Only different from our system now is that it hit two different.
Correct. I mean, if you want to hit one same account, you let me know. And we have to see how we configure. But if you hit,
It's clear.
yeah, if you hit one same account, then you can't use this report already.
Me, I think from my point of view, I think this is very clear to me. Just like download and dummy on the number and subject entry, okay, the commission in the tax contract I did done.
But if we want to hit one account, like we are doing now, is it can
Then you would have additional fields to fill in, additional steps, in the sense as here when I enter, I will enter a dummy account, a dummy sales account. This will be your AR others or indirect sales account. Okay, and then you will still need to have another field to capture the actual customer. Because if not, you wouldn't know this is for which customer. And same thing when I actually assign to the supplier, it's also going to hit the dummy account. And the supplier, I also need to have another field to say supplier account. So many more fields for you to update. If not, you can't match. Right? If not, you can't match.
That is the first stage when the sales
The entry,
enter,
yes.
enter the order.
Correct. You have all these other fields that you need to match. If not, you wouldn't be able to know which customer, which supplier. Those fields are just a tagging for you to do a matching.
Yeah, that will work.
Because like now you say your transactions are all going to AR, others, indirect sales. How does it know this which customer? Do you have to key in?
Yes. We have to choose a customer.
You still have to choose the customer, right? Yeah. So that means double. One is the AR, others, one is the customer. Correct?
No, even now, our SAP, when they enter, they process the order, they have to choose as well. The difference to gratify the direct or indirect sales is the type, the sales type.
Okay.
Yes.
So how does the system know that this sales link to this purchase?
It is generated when they enter the sales order.
So there's a back-to-back.
Yeah.
Also back
yeah.
to back order.
The system will generate the PO.
Correct, but then the matching is actually done by the system through customization, or it's a default. It's a default from the system.
Matching, what do you mean matching?
The sales,
Automatic.
the sales and the purchase to know that this is one same transaction.
Yeah.
Data
When they enter,
Right.
when they enter the sales, they will choose the supplier.
Correct.
Is that the order process is exactly the same like the Excel I told you?
Yeah, I know. Yeah. So it's only the accounting entry is different.
Right. So it means for accounting, if you want to know located this supplier purchase order for which customer, so she has to put different table and matching it to get the final commission.
Yep.
So that I think is not very convenient. And I want to make it very clear on this one report. So that reason why I suggest to find a solution.
Plus the current system, the AI on this direct billing is always open, right? Always open, even when you have received commission correctly.
I don't know how Miss will do it.
How?
No, she
Yeah.
put another entry
The sale to
to net
customer.
off, but that net off amount doesn't show for which invoice and which
That's
supplier.
why I say the AI that for the customer, it's always open, it's not clear. It's not clear of.
No, right.
Still have
It's just
Like a not
outstanding.
paid.
Right.
We cannot check that our customer already paid to our customer. No.
But on this, once the supplier pays the commission, they clear it, it's all gone. They all would know that's paid or done.
Right, because
Both by.
this is, we have another column like Albert mentioned, match dice. Right? Sorry.
You like Albert, it's okay.
So we have another Albert, IT in Philippines, sorry.
That is our guy.
Sorry.
No problem.
I always mess up the name.
So this is what we have prepared. You have to let us know if this is acceptable. If not, then we have to find another solution to do as per what you're doing now.
So I
This
suggest,
is what we suggest to you, in SAP. And with this, you see that we don't have to do any coding. It's actually a default. The entries are default. The reports, we just have to do a modification to match the two tables together. No customization at all. So what you see today is all just configuration.
okay,
Yeah, there's no programming.
it's good. So can you show us one more time from beginning until your report? No, because this is no more discussion. So that is one that we have to focus.
Can I just show you using this flow?
Yes.
Okay. So if you notice from here, what you will do is I issue a sales order. From the sales order, automatically create a purchase order. This is your back-to-back. Whether it's direct sales or indirect sales, it's the same thing happening. Right? So that's where, again, before I do a delivery, I need to make sure I have the stock. That's where I would do a inbound. So in this case, when I do the inbound, it depends on whether it's direct sales you are doing yourself. If it's not indirect sales, the supplier is doing it. Correct or no? They receive, that means they would actually put it that it's already inbound and sent to customer.
Right.
So this is the step.
Both way they also confirm with us. They
Correct.
deliver, and we just confirm our
So
system.
on the system, you just have to say inbound ke done.
Right.
When you say the inbound is done, it will automatically create an outbound.
Mm.
So here, let me make this smaller. You see here, after the inbound, there's an outbound.
Mm.
Sorry, maybe too many things to see. Okay. So this step, you just have to say yes, receive.
Yeah.
Then they will actually send the goods.
Mm.
So after they send the goods, that's where you do the invoicing. These are the steps for more.
Invoicing,
accounting.
the system will generate it.
Yes, yes. It's up to you whether you want to do a manual invoice or you schedule.
Generate.
Up to you. You can schedule. You
So
can schedule.
similar to our system.
Yes.
uh,
Yes.
Process the order, send to customer.
Correct.
Process, generate the purchase order, send to our supplier.
Correct. Same,
And
exactly the same.
send the request delivery to our supplier.
That is our system, another system. We just focus on the process because that is another system to ask the supplier to deliver. As long as supplier is confirm, send, we just click one hit like ship confirm in JDE, and it generates all the invoices and hit on AR, AP, GL.
Is it more steps?
No, the same. That is system generated. He mentioned confirm inbound, it means our system confirm in JDE.
Confirm.
Done.
And how about request delivery?
That is before that. We have another system. We still use DMS.
DMS and we'll link with this one.
Right. That's the further step. So this is the concept first. That is the process. Because that we doesn't know DMS.
So what happens here is that you just key in the sales, right?
Inbound delivery.
Wait.
What's the step?
Before inbound, you only do a sales order, correct?
Yes,
And then the system will actually be creating the purchase order.
yes.
Okay. So this is the part whereby you know that there's going to be a delivery.
Yes.
You just say yes, done. There's no additional entry. You just have to say confirm.
Confirm inbound delivery.
Correct. And then when you confirm,
And confirm this, send to supplier. Or confirm for what?
confirm so that you know that your goods is there to be delivered to customer.
It means the supply, the customer.
Inbound
receive
delivery
the
is goods receipt.
The good receipt.
Yeah, it's a goods receipt.
Who will confirm this inbound delivery?
Our staff.
Right after the purchase order created,
No. When you receive the goods.
when receivable, our staff will confirm inbound delivery.
Correct.
Okay.
Because somebody need to tell them that you received the
So
goods,
one-
right?
One step.
No, the same step. Should confirm. That's inbound delivery confirmation.
There's no additional step because somebody have to confirm, right?
Yes.
Confirm delivery.
Yes.
Okay, and next.
After you confirm delivery, immediately there's an outbound already. That means a delivery order to customer,
Yes.
and that's it. So after that, it's the customer invoice.
The same process.
Outbound delivery is should confirm.
No, inbound, because we combine together already. If like normal process, we have to inbound it and receive into our warehouse.
So one step confirm in the system delivery inbound and outbound. confirm.
Automatically will be generated.
One time.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. So when you do an inbound confirmation, this will be automatic. Outbound will be automatic. Then you do the invoicing, and here the supplier also.
Generate, the system generate invoice at
Right.
that time.
Correct.
Right.
Okay.
The same process.
Yeah.
But because right now in SAP, if the transaction go to our warehouse, so it means we have to do two step inbound and outbound confirmation.
Correct.
And can we do the same way like this if we just confirm inbound? Because our actual warehouse is not controlled. We manage that, but the supplier also take the goods for us to send to customer. And when they confirm deliver, we just confirm one time and it hit inbound.
In those cases, it's all considered third party.
Okay.
Yeah. So we will just set it all as third party transaction. Everything will be done for you. Same steps.
The same step.
Same steps.
But we have the warehouse.
Yeah, it does.
It does.
Because inbound, it hit the, confirm the buy,
Mm.
outbound confirm the sale.
Correct. It's just that some customer they want to have the outbound because they want to create the picking list, the packing list. But if you say no need, then this one can be auto.
Right.
Asking of the inbound confirmation.
Yep.
Is it possible to allow access for supplier to go in and confirm
Of course, license.
the license?
So,
They can buy the license, we ask them to buy the license for that.
Up to
reason.
you.
Why do we have to do it? They confirm, so they do one time, we don't have to do it. Why do we have to do that step?
That's a good idea, but we need to
Just like
discuss.
our government is asking us to do now.
If you can recharge, go ahead, please.
They have to buy the meter.
Good for me.
It's not happy.
100 supplier,
or revenue, right?
100 license.
But the thing is, they only access this step.
Yeah,
We
will do access rights that they only have access to this.
Yeah, it's like B2B.
Giống như là họ access lên hệ thống của mình luôn, nhưng mà chỉ cho cái function đó thôi, là họ phải xác nhận. And in case if they make a wrong confirmation inbound delivery, is there
Then
a way-
somebody internal have to change because you only give them access to inbound.
So change that process to like reactivate or return the goods or any process to do.
It depends on what you mean by error because there shouldn't be that much error. Inbound means the transactions are all there already. It's just a confirmation. Yes,
Just like
I
it
received.
is.
Unless they say no, instead of 100, I put 200. Then that's an error. But you can also set a threshold to say I can accept over delivery or under delivery by maybe 5%.
So if we use that, we don't need to use DMS now.
No,
We still have to, right?
No.
we can use all the data from here. They have to go in.
Only this function.
They can see the requirement from us and they confirm the delivery.
Well, if so, we need to see further how Alex demonstrate that for us to see that screen. Because we have, remember, one order, for example, 100 pieces, we can ask the client to deliver multiple times, different dates. So it means we have delivery request.
But then we already have to break down the.
So
the
how
line,
we do
right?
it? Yeah.
We already have to split the line in that.
No, one line only. So is there any function that we like split the order? We call delivery request. Unless the friends tell me.
No. Internet slow, not me. No. What happened is that here you see the PO quantity, then you can actually say what is the actual quantity you receive. So like you say, if it's partial, you just have to put in 5, then there will be still a 5
But
outstanding.
before we put in 5 for supply confirm, we need to break that out. Like for example, this PO, we receive 100 pieces. But we want supplier send 5 pieces today, 10 pieces
Oh, that
tomorrow.
one is by delivery date, it's different. Because
Right. So that reason why
Here-
Ms. Vân mentioned we don't need to use our existing system to monitor that or notify our supplier to deliver. So we need something in the system for our staff to generate that and send email
So
out.
in that case, when you do the so-called purchase, currently, is it line by line? This line, this date, this line, this date?
Right.
Is it correct or no?
We have to.
Purchase order, purchase
Line by
order.
line, but breakdown. We have the main line and the sub line.
What do you mean by mainline and subline?
Like, if, for example, a regional line, line 1, at 100,000. Then from this line, we split to 5 days. So when we confirm, the system will generate another subline like line point 1, line point 2, line point 3. And deduct the quantity from the main line.
Is that part of a contract or no?
No, that is our system. No?
Correct? No, I'm saying is it can be done by as a contract or no?
It's not a contract.
Okay. Let me just show you here. You see here when I buy the item, I can put the delivery date. So I can actually add another row. It's the same item. The liquid coolant, another date. So at the point of this date, then you should already have done a receive.
Where's the quantity?
Here. So this one 10, maybe this one I want to buy 20 or whichever. So you just add the lines.
No, it doesn't work like that with our system because our original order, because maybe last for 1 month. We enter one time 1,000. But that 1,000 will sent by our supply to our customer for 5 days.
But that is like the blanket sell.
No. That's the SDOD, SSOX. That's what Indonesia is doing right now. So that's the reason why we have two systems. They have to revise and we have to make the date to split the line.
Like they send to our supplier one time and then they revise. Instead of delivery one time, they revise
Not the
in 2
revise.
times or 3 times.
Not the revise, break the delivery date, not the
Yes.
revise.
But it's the same as we doing it here. So you basically enter a blanket sale order and then you split out as many different delivery.
But in Indonesia, we don't use blanket orders.
Make the change, when change, make the change.
Or otherwise, we can use this one like a contracts, like he mentioned, like blanket orders, customer blanket order. But that doesn't generate the purchase order.
So the purchase orders will only generate when we split the delivery.
Right.
Because from your description, this is what I can suggest for now.
Mm.
It's not going to be one lump sum. It's going to be you at the point of entry. You already tell them which date I'm expecting how much.
Mm.
So during the inbound, that's where they see the date. This is the amount I received. Done. Next.
I understand that. But what I'm trying to explain the situation in here, like a lump sum total quantity. Then we split out by line like this. So just make it easy for you to understand the easy system. But before we can split out that, we do back way. When the supply deliver already, so we will split the line from our system. It's a back way, not a forward way.
Because if that's the case, then what will happen is that at the point of inbound, where am I? What's the inbound? Okay. That means you have one lump sum purchase order. That means 1,000. At the point of entry here, you already split it that 10, 50.
Okay, so if the case SAP, I believe we can think another process like this was mentioned. We have the sales blanket, sales project, sales contract as a lump sum. Then when we have real delivery date from customers, we will release that into this one. So it will be like only one line.
Sales contract or purchase contract?
Sales contract.
Okay.
And also from sales contract, it depends on project, we can have purchase contract. And then when we release into this line, it will generate a purchase order and pull direct from purchase contract. So it's much easier. Then we don't have supply.
The invoicing only happens when
right?
it's delivery.
Right. So it's much easier, and the staff also doesn't need to worry which line belongs to which line. Agree. New suggestion. Good. I'm happy. But I have to calculate again on the other. You the
PO sign. The other time we say we settle this with that sign, right?
So if I have to calculate again, that's
So, okay.
yes, it's good. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I'm very happy.
Any more questions, let me know. Give me more excuse to come back.
So Alex, I will
check about the SAP.
sorry? Yes, the tools. Because last time you mentioned there are two tools, SDK tool and one more tool for
SAC.
BI integration. I want to know if we can really buy a BI integration, because we don't want to depend on the third party like partner. But for SDK, yes, we consider like support us, no problem. But because we have a lot of systems to generate that, so we need a like BI integration solution.
The tool is actually called SAP Analytics Cloud. Okay, so example here. Let me show you. This is already in. And all these reports are yearly. Think about this is data from SAP.
Yes.
This is basically a map that you put to different accounts. Okay, so this is anything. This is done. All these sales, you create you a template. But those party you put the link, start creating.
Should as Alex run the order process for two methods with the existing indirect sales and with the new proposal method from Alex. We will measure the time and how long, how difficult.
Wow, for this one, it's very further step. So the first step, I want to get the concept. Because that's related to like a lot of things like proposal for money and the timeline. And if we want to go that, I will ask Alex one more time to do further demo, thorough demo, and deep demo for that detail so we can measure that. And because before we go to that step, FTD also have to come here to do some research to make sure we buy license is like good.
I think that you need to report to
I will do it. I will do it.
And you know
Right.
how difficult, small.
Yes.
If they run like existing JDA and if they run like recently.
Yeah, but from now I can measure the timing already. I know it because I work medicine.
As my imagination, I think it's the same.
Actually, from CS team, the same.
The same.
But they're two reducing. I'm working on it. If we buy this one, that is a third-party DMS RPC system. I want to link automatic from that. It will reduce the workload. First, the second, if we use the sales purchase, sales blanket released by one line like this, we don't do the workload for the back again.
For others, the workload is less, it's okay. But I'm talking about today, we are talking about indirect sales. And as Alex said that if we run in one account for sales and for purchase in one account, like we do AR direct billing in JDE now, it takes more time for the order processing.
No. It follow your suggestion using like existing concept. It will take more time.
Yes.
It follow the solution that Alex proposed, the same. It reduce workload because just one step.
One step, but as Alex explained that if we do right now, like we are running in JD right now, it will take more time for the CSOP when they enter the order. They have to choose more, right?
No, it follow your way.
Yes.
So they will have to take more steps.
Take more steps. So I'm curious for the more step. What is the more step?
Have to choose 3 fields, right? 3 or 4 fields.
Additional field to tag the customer and additional field to tag supplier. Two field.
And even they do direct sales order, they also choose the
That is why if
supplier.
follow your way for indirect, they have another choose another two field. But if follow Alex on the process right now, the same like JDE one time selection. And that reason why I asked if we have a template for end user to import the data. The field is already there, the same. That's one time only.
Yeah, so let him check out if he can do. We import the indirect sales as normal and the tip one GL.
You can just use an Excel template.
Yeah.
And we just import. You can import from Excel. It's a standard. You just have to give it the template.
I think to me it's clear. I can have phone call with Debbie and explain to her. Because for the supply chain management, Debbie doesn't know anything about that process. just Eric. So Eric the one who confirmed that. For the finance side, that will confirm the finance side. So that is the reason why I have to work with two people. That means cannot confirm that CS supply chain management side for us.
But I think the next step, this aside, let us work on a proposal to see whether if that one is suitable with your budget. Then we move forward. Yeah. Because no point we talk